What's going on, guys? Andrew Piluk Hockey here, back again with another video. Man, it has been absolutely crazy the last 24 hours for the Toronto Maple Leafs. If you guys haven't seen already the video that I just posted on my channel, the Maple Leafs traded Mitch Marner to the Vegas Golden Knights by signing him and trading him 8 years, $12 million, and he signs with Vegas. And it looks like Nick Waugh is the return for the Maple Leafs. So hopefully when I'm making this video, I don't mess up, because I'm going to be mentioning Nick Waugh in this video. It seems like he's been traded to the Leafs. Everything is happening. I don't know what to say, guys. The Maple Leafs are making changes, which is what we want. So let's see what they do tomorrow as well, depending on when you're watching this. And there will be more content. I'm sure I'm going to have to make more videos because it's silly season, guys. Get buckled up because it is silly season. If you're new here, make sure to like this video and subscribe. Join the squad. I would love to have you guys here. But we're going to start off with some fun news, okay? Matthew Knies. I didn't get a chance to talk about this. $7.75 million for 6 years. $7.75 million per year for the next 6 years. Matthew Knies has been awesome. 22 years old, as we know, 6'3", 227 pounds. As Steve Dangle likes to say, he's beef, man. He's a big beef guy. Last year, career year, obviously, young career. 29 goals, 29 assists for 58 points. Now, I know a lot of people like Matthew Knies. He's physical. He can score. But, guys, we have to remember, he has to produce a little bit more now because the Leafs are making changes. And they just gave him a pretty big contract. So, the Leafs are expecting a bit of a bump. So, I'm really hoping that we see him in that 30 to 35 goal range. I know he was close. Maybe throwing a few more assists in there, because he's going to have to take a lot more responsibility. And I know he's physical and he can play a two-way game. I love Matthew Knies, don't get me wrong. But when you get this kind of a pay bump, when you go from a cheap contract from an entry-level deal to nearly $8 million per season, you're hoping for a bit of a bump from this player. So Matthew Knies, I'm excited. This is a fantastic deal. I love it. I think it's a great deal. 6 years. At first, we were thinking it could be 4 years. So I'm really happy that the Maple Leafs were able to get Matthew Knies at a cheap deal. So let's go to another deal that was made earlier, and it's a trade. Matias Maccelli, 24 years old, 5'11", 185 pounds in the last year of his $3.4 million contract. Now, what did the Leafs give up? Well, they gave up a third-round pick that could turn into a second in 2029. So it's like a third in 2027 that could turn into a second in 2029. And it turns into a second if he scores over 51 points, I believe, and the Leafs make the playoffs. So let's really hope that happens. And Maccelli is a little interesting. Now, the reason why I say that is, look at last year, 55 games played, 18 points. But the year before, 57 points, 17 goals and 40 assists. The year before that, 49 points in 64 games played. He's a playmaker. He can dish the puck. He's quick. There's a lot to love about him. The Leafs are probably going to try him in their top six, depending on who they can acquire, because it looks like Brad Marchand obviously is going back to Florida. They got the whole band back together. So the Leafs don't have a ton of options in free agency. I don't expect them to be big fish hunting. So what now? What do they do? What do the Leafs go for now? And it's deals like this where you find diamonds in the rough. I think the Leafs are hoping for a Michael Bunting type production here. I think they're hoping for like 20 to 25 goals and a guy that can be a playmaker. If Maccelli puts up 60 points and he's getting paid $3.4 million, fine by me. Fine by me. So we'll have to see. He's a playmaker. So if he gets a chance in that top six, I'm going to be quite excited. Because if he can dish the puck out and play the way that people think he can, that's a good little sneaky pickup for Brad Treliving. And again, it was for one draft pick that potentially might not be until 2029. I'm totally fine with that. You're basically getting the guy for free. So the next one is the guy that we got in a trade, of course, like I mentioned before, Mitch Marner. to Vegas. Nick Waugh is the rumored return because I'm still filming right after the fact that we just made this deal. So I keep checking Twitter. I keep trying to see what's going on, but it seems as though that the trade is just going to be a 1-for-1 deal, and that we're just ending up with Nick Waugh, which is completely fine, by the way, because again, the Leafs were pretty much going to get nothing, and they ended up with a player that is going to do well in terms of their depth, because the Leafs need a third-line center, and I think Nick Waugh is going to fill that position. 6'4", 201 pounds, 2 years left on his deal this year and next at $3 million, so another cheap guy that can fill out your lineup. 15 goals last year, 13 the year before, 14 the year before that, 15 the year before that. Like, this guy is consistently going to give you, 30 to 40 points. And look, the year that he only had 30 points was 65 games. When he plays more, he puts up more numbers. I think this guy could touch 50 points playing with the right guys, because the Leafs' depth is going to be a lot different this year. It's going to be different because they have to be different. They have to make changes. And when I show you guys the lineup, there's still a lot of opportunity for the Maple Leafs to make more changes. And I think that that's really good because they need to have a different DNA. We've spoken about it at length. We've heard it from Brad Treliving. This team needs to have a DNA change. And included in that DNA change is a guy that is going to stick around. And I like that. Steven Lorentz. He just signed a 3-year deal with the Maple Leafs for $1.35 million. I'm glad he's back. He's 29 years old, and he was really good for the Leafs last year. And I know you guys are going to look at these point totals and think, okay, 8 goals and 19 points. That's not really that impressive for last season. But look at his numbers before. Like, he tied his career high, and he was playing for $700K. I'm totally fine with his production because he brings something to the bottom of the lineup at third and fourth line that the Leafs didn't have a lot of, and that's aggressiveness on the puck. He was great in the regular season. He was great in the playoffs. He almost played the full year at 80 games played. He's aggressive. He's going to go and get pucks. He's going to go into the corners. He's going to fish out whatever you need, and he's that gritty type of guy that you need, and he's cheap. This guy is making basically the same as what Reeves is making, but does a lot more for the team. He's not slow. He can go and be physical. He can get in people's face. He can go out front of the net. He can pot some goals in here and there. And that's what the Leafs need. We need to hold this guy. So I'm happy about that contract. I think Lorentz is an excellent guy to bring back. And that brings me to the roster currently. And things can kind of change. So you see Knies there. You see Maccelli there now. You see Nick Waugh there. You see Lorentz back in the lineup. You can see Bobby McMahon, to me, is kind of an odd man out. Max Domi could potentially be an odd man out. I mean, I don't know if Lawton would be an odd man out. I think the Leafs still want to try him. Yarncrow, Kampf, there's guys that could be moved. I mean, there's rumors about Riley and Carlo. I don't know what's going to happen, but with Reeves in the minors, you're just about at $7 million. And like I said, if the Leafs decide to trade Yarncrow, if they decide to trade Kampf, maybe it's a combination of both. Maybe it's just one. I still think Yarncrow is a useful player, but again, they've got to make money work. The Maple Leafs still have some cash to play with, and if the Leafs were still going to be in on Marchand the next day, which again, he's gone now, but the Leafs are still out there looking. They could still be in the trade market. I don't know what's going to happen, but there's just been craziness going on in the NHL. While I'm with you guys, I'm literally going to be checking my phone. Like, I'm going to check Twitter right now because there's just too much going on. There's a whole lot going on, and I'm excited. Hopefully a lot of it, and there's nothing right now, but hopefully a lot of this goes to tomorrow as well. I want to see more action. I want to see the Leafs doing crazy stuff. So let me know what you guys think about all these new additions. Technically 2 new players, but 4 added to the roster. 2 new players, 2 sticking around. Let me know what you guys think. If you're new here, make sure to like this video and subscribe. Join the squad. I'd love to have you guys here. Also, be sure to stick around because there's going to be a lot more videos. What do you guys think? Comment down below. Sound off in the comments. Peace.